I love Florida. Florida is like Belly High or Shangri-La. I live many different lives, and I live in many different places. I always say wherever I am, that's the place that I like the best.
Hello and welcome to Key West. We are down here in Florida after a 10-hour flight from Frankfurt, visiting Matt Lamb in his Florida studio, where he works from January to March every year. It is certainly not without reason that Americans call this part of the world paradise, and this is very inspiring to Matt and his work. We will now interview Matt and also visit him in his studio. Come with us on this trip to the Keys.
It's an insulated place. It's a place that I can live one life, and that's my art life. I can focus completely and utterly on what I do. Some of the critics that I've talked to and friends of mine in the art world said that if I lived this life all the time, that my art would suffer, because my art is really about my raging against the world and in its inequalities towards people, in its how we use certain institutions to put other people down, to encapsulate people, to imprison them with their own ideas. Here, I find that I become very relaxed. I'm not as enraged as I am in other places. And I don't know, if I did stay here all the time just flies by. Here I can strictly focus on my life as an artist. All the other places are artificial because I put all the pressure on myself, and I opt to get involved in those things. I'm trying to work that out. As I reach, in a few months I'll be 70, and as I reach that age, I'm trying to shed a lot of the outside distractions to my art. But I'm wondering how it's going to affect the art also, because my art is about love and tolerance and hope and understanding and peace, but it's really based upon rage. I live, as I say, in different environments, and I'm driven to go from place to place to place to really force myself to experience my really quest, my pilgrimage to find who and what I am. we are, as a species, we are so marvelous and we are so terrible. And what I'm saying is, let's now try as people to find that marvel in ourselves. So here, in this particular environment, with the sun and the really involved with nature as we sort of fantasize. Every day we get up and there's a beautiful sunrise, and you look out and here's this wonderful pure water, and everything is growing and the flowers are growing, and at night the most wonderful sundown you'd ever want to see, beautiful, and then the moon comes up and all the stars. I mean, this is paradise. When I first started painting 20-some odd years ago, I felt I made giant strides because I didn't know anything about anything. And I'm self-taught, so therefore everything I had to do, I had to invent myself, even though the knowledge was out there. But I didn't want to know what that knowledge was. I wanted to create my own world out of my own faults and gains and losses, just because I wanted to do that. And I want to experience that. I'm working right in this year, 2002, in 3 different directions. One is like this painting up here, which is abstractual, but really very, it's almost like a Polaroid shot to me. It's so illustrative of what I'm trying to say. The other is between that, where I am not dictating what it is. And the third is very abstractual, where instead of really introducing many more colors and many more images that I see, I'm allowing it to just lay there with possibly 2 or 3 black or white or red lines within this context that I've worked on already twice before. But in years past, I would think, this is just the very beginning. So that is a big step for me to take. It's a step back and not a step forward. It's a step back by the introduction of less color and line and form. It's a step forward in acceptance of the mysterious part of my painting. Therefore, I started a discovery as to what I could do with materials. How could I work out what I wanted to happen? What kind of figures did I want to do? What kind of environment did I want to create? This was, to me, really like being a bird being let out of a cage. I'm going to work day and night and year after year to create a body of work that's going to tell my story. And that's what I've done. That was 20-some odd years ago. And I continue to do that. Every day I wake up with a new vigor to get into my studio and explore that world that exists up here. But to me, it is as real as this world that we're sitting right here. Because it's the world of the spirit, and I believe the spirit really dictates everything that happens in the universe. And it's the spirit of the universe. I think it's God.
Rose and Matt, we've visited you here down in the Florida Keys, and it's time to leave. It's also time to leave for you soon, back home to Chicago. What feelings are in your minds when you have to leave Florida on your way to Chicago?
Well, it's always sad to leave a place, but there's also a lot of expectation. The next place we're going to visit is the home of all of our children and grandchildren. So there'll be a different type of life there, but it will be exciting, it will be productive, there'll be a lot of
fun.
Rose,
I love it.
this is the time that Rose has with all of her friends and her children, her grandchildren. So we'll move into a different phase of our life. It seems like throughout the year we just have different, it's like the moon, the different phases. Here we're more or less hermits. There we become very social. And then we'll look forward to the next trip, which will be over to Europe, where we'll have a mixture of both. So
It's a good life.
We have a smorgasbord life. We're nomads, and we're always on our pilgrimage.
Great.
So
We are looking forward to going with you on this trip around the world, so to say, and we'll see you soon in Chicago.
great,
Okay.
excellent, excellent.
We're leaving Florida and we're on our way to Chicago. Join us also on that trip.